I am Abbassi. I'm a dating coach. I've been helping guys pretty much attract and date the woman of their dreams. Find their inner confidence, find how to meet women in a healthy manner, in a very authentic manner, so that they're not using techniques or tricks or anything like that. And yeah, I just help them with their dating lives mainly.
This is a man's world. This is a man's world.
It's always a bit nerve-wracking meeting the students right before. It's like this excitement and nervousness just all mixed up. Hey, Reggie.
How you doing?
What's up? How are you?
Doing amazing. How you doing?
Good, good.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, bro. So, structure of the boot camp, we take a student out first night. I pretty much just get to know him a little bit.
All right, so just waiting on the student right now to come. This is like where it gets really exciting. Sometimes I see the students on Skype and sometimes it's just audio, so I have no idea what they look like. Man. How are you?
Sensei Mo. What's going on, man?
You had a hard time getting here?
Buddy, I was fucking all over the place.
The first night is always analysis. So each person is different. Each person has a different personality type. Each person has a different level of the journey that they're on.
All right, so a few things to cover. First thing is what I expect of you on this program. So tonight is all about like how you go about your nights, how you go about your interactions. I just pretty much just want to analyze you and see what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong, okay? Or what needs fixing. So really we're just gonna hang out, get to know each other a little bit, and then we'll grow up. If you want to talk to people, you can. I'm not gonna push you into anything. We could literally go up and stand there and talk to each other, like I don't care, okay? Just go about your night as you normally would.
Okay.
So if you go out at night, for example, with your friends or with your wingman, and you're trying to talk to chicks, whatever it may be, just do your own thing. But just in general, if you do talk to someone, then I can tell like where your sticking points are. You may not even talk to anyone tonight, okay? But just me being around you and seeing, you know, how you're dealing with a social situation is very, very important, okay?
The first night is spent on just analyzing their behaviors with me, with girls, with just people in general, with the environment, kind of analyzing their mindsets behind everything.
Be honest with me. So again, I've had students in the past who haven't told me what they truly want. There's times where like I'll tell you something and it may not work for you. You gotta be like, yo, Mo, that didn't work for me. Give me something different, right? Another thing is during this tonight, I'm gonna be writing certain things down.
Sure.
So just like right off the bat, I noticed like your vocal tonality needs work, right? Don't think I'm like texting or like ignoring you.
Nah, buddy, it's all good.
I'm just writing the things that we need to work on during the rest of the program.
So that we can really figure out the sticking points, we can figure out what is stopping them from having authentic, attractive conversations with women, so that the rest of the boot camp is predicated and it is based on those things that they need to work on.
Let's go get a drink first.
Huh?
Let's go get a drink.
No, you can't use it as a crutch. You can't use it. You can have drinks if you take action first. No, you can't use it as a crutch. All right, I want you to pop into the two girls who are sitting down, the two blondes. I'm not gonna tell you what to do. Just what, if you had to talk to them, what would you do? Just do that, okay?
Would I tell you now or just go do it?
No, just go do it. Then I can assess, right? You feel nervous?
A second night is built, it's just momentum. So It's really just building as much momentum for the student as possible.
Manny is my manager. That's why his name is Manny, because he's our manager.
You guys should get paid to buy a stream, and then maybe we'll be on your YouTube channel.
Nah, I'm broke. I like it when you stroke my hair. I feel special. Versus coming in, having your own fun and shit. Again, we'll go through all the technical stuff tomorrow, and it's gonna start making a lot more sense. I just want to see where you're at tonight.
For most students who come on, the second night they approach more and talk to more women than they have their entire lives.
In January, they're giving me another $6,000 raise.
You know what it is? The accent. I think it's the accent. It's very appealing.
Because for a year and a half, I worked my fucking ass off for that company. I fucking built them up to what they are.
We are now officially Power Rangers.
Oh yeah, what color are you?
What's green one?
I'm white. I actually would have preferred to go to Vancouver, but it's really expensive to fly there from Columbus.
Honestly, but it's worth it. Do you like nature, hiking? Yeah?
Yeah, I do. So I'll probably go like sometime this year. It's actually my first time ever visiting Canada. He's an Egyptian.
An Egyptian? Yeah. I can tell from the eyes.
From the eyes.
I've been to Egypt though. It's actually sick.
Yeah, I like, what is this? What kind of rocket?
What's the best way to grab a number?
Like, yo, we might go grab food later. Let me grab the number.
What? Americans are reckless. I remember one time. Reckless. Yeah, you guys. That's the one word.
I remember one time I was going to like Buffalo, and like immediately as we entered Buffalo, like someone got out of the car and started like flipping the fingers. I was like, what is happening right now?
It's not only summer.
Yeah. When does it stop?
We got Subway. You guys want to do Subway?
When does it stop? Honestly,
Yeah, like when is your?
like this year it was late. Like till April it stopped. Like the actual cold.
Bad. Oh, it's about me. You know, it's always just about.
No, you gotta be one with the city. What are you talking about?
You know, that's a good point.
Can't have a
What
single
is your six, right?
with my woes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, why not? Go for the American influence. Let's go.
The daytime session, which is Saturday, we start it with a belief system training session.
First of all, as we go through this session, be willing to open up emotionally.
This is stuff that I've spent over $50,000 just learning, learning about NLP, learning about really the psychology of people, what really makes them to not be open and not be vulnerable and have authentic conversations, especially with women.
As hard as you Hey! 2, 3, become! 1, 2, 3, become! 1, 2, 3, go! 1, 2, 3, go! Express it again. Express it again.
And we really go into the subconscious and figure out what are those things that are holding them back. This is probably one of the most intense sessions. This is something that I did that like transformed my life and my game forever.
Be willing to fully express it.
I've almost had people pass out on these programs just because of that, because we really hone in on the subconscious and everything just starts to come out. So the belief system training is very powerful because right after we do day game, and I've had students go from literally not having any comfortable conversations to all of a sudden after the belief system training, they're now easily attracting women.
Lied to me. I seen it. It was your own picture and you liked it.
And they're going on Insta dates with like fucking Russian models and stuff like that.
What are you doing right now?
Right now?
Yeah.
I was going for a walk and I was actually going to pick up some weed.
Some weed? And now that I think of it, I might just go and grab some weed too.
Come with me, man.
Where's the store?
It's 1, 3, 3, 4.
What?
Oh, We're going here.
Yep.
This is where we're going.
You're down for a walk? Fuck it, let's do it.
Can I go use the bathroom at Starbucks? Yes, is that what you're saying?
I think that's what you're saying, sure.
In Cairo we have weed, they call it bongo.
They wanted to see,
This is
so
the
that.
big place.
Okay,
Come.
let's check it out.
It's really cool. It's like, I think for me, it's like the most fun part of the boot camp because I could see that real life transformation in a matter of hours, which is really fucking cool.
My car just had 2 or 3 hour incident. How do you feel?
Yeah, man, that's the process.
Buddy.
Other than that, man, fucking solid. That's how you instigate.
That's how you instigate, bro.
That's how you really like start getting results in your dating life, right?
Definitely something to do.
Hey, girl with the green sweater. How is it going?
What?
How is it going?
It's going well.
Nice.
Well, I was
Wait,
just saying it would be funny
if you fell
with my phone.
with your phone. Sorry, you're freaking my friend out. He's a vegan.
No, I just don't eat meat.
Yeah.
Unless it's big fat.
The thing with me is I'm just visiting from Niagara.
Oh.
So I'm just hanging out with some people here. And I'm here till tomorrow. So if you want to grab a drink tomorrow, if you're free.
Sure.
Okay, I'll take your number.
And then this interaction, you go into it, you're more relaxed, you're more calm, and then you end up getting a date.
What do I teach? That's a really good question. So every student is different, which means that every program is different, which means that everyone gets a different plan, everyone gets different instructions. Right, that's almost a statement of empathy because you're being like, come on, be relatable. Like, there's nothing wrong here. And it's very important, obviously, the outer game aspects. You know, you got to learn the step-by-step process. You have to learn, for example, how to approach a girl so that it works and she's receptive and she's not freaked out.
What's your name?
My name is Jewel.
Jewel? I'm Reggie. Nice to meet you.
Why are you talking?
I thought you seemed pretty interesting. So I was like, you know what, she just liked a picture of herself. I'm kind of into myself too. We would probably go well together.
There's also an aspect that I think is really missed upon this type of industry, and that's the subconscious triggers. Like, why are you doing the certain things that you're doing? And what's the desire behind it that's allowing that behavior to come forward?
You know, there's always this fear, almost maybe defensive in some ways as well, is that, you know, being ridiculed, being punished at home.
And is it actually helping you? Is it helping you be authentic? Is it helping you be vulnerable? Is it helping you be open? Is it helping you actually attract the woman of your dreams and the woman that you actually like into your life? And so really focus in and hone in on, okay, you did this behavior on this level, but let's go into over here in the subconscious, in the stuff that you're not thinking about. Because there's one thing for me to tell a person like, okay, bro, just go in and do this thing, but they won't be able to do it, or they won't be able to do it right because what's happening up here is completely different than what's happening in terms of the technical level.
So that comes down to the feelings of you feeling judged. Like, I don't want to do anything stupid because the people who know each other, they're gonna think of me differently.
So as much as we focus on, you know, the outer aspect of everything and the step-by-step process, there also has to be as much importance put on the inner stuff, which is, why are you doing the things that you're doing? Where is it coming from? How is it aiding you? You know, how has this aided you in the life? Maybe this is a certain thing that you're doing to escape. Now, I want you to write the answer to this question. What has to happen in order for you to feel and be attractive? Another way of being, another way of living, or this is something that you're doing to overcompensate for something else, right? So you really just dig into the desires and the subconscious triggers of what's going on as well. So we teach things like vulnerability. So statements of vulnerability is like when you feel nervousness, or when you feel anxiety, or when you want to say something to that girl. Let's say you're talking to that girl and you feel that anxiety or nervousness. Instead of, again, hiding that emotion, suppressing it, and pushing it down into your subconscious, you completely let it out. The empathy, emotional intelligence, reading your own emotions and being able to control it, you know, social intelligence and having social acuity, so you can read other people very well.
It looks like they get completely relaxed too, and then we just go into whatever. I was like, oh yeah, you know, blah blah blah.
And also understanding and having awareness of where you stand psychologically, mentally, and also in terms of the step-by-step process.
There's no harder. You're already in the interaction. You're already moving things forward.
Yeah.
Why stop it? Why cut it short?
How did I learn everything? Many years of trial and error. Like now it's like 6-7 years of my life spent doing this. But also I don't think I would have learned everything if I, one, didn't have mentors.
This is Mo, aka 8 Figures.
Mo, aka 6 Figures.
You gotta make yourself a 10, and the only way to do that is to invest in yourself.
This guy's a rock star, J-Max Fitness. He runs a huge Instagram following, and he's absolutely killing it.
Yeah, man. And we're trying to find burgers, veggie burgers.
I found some over there.
But not made out of mushrooms.
Yeah, like
No,
the good ones.
Bean. Oh.
Black bean?
Yeah.
They're good.
That's a big, I constantly say this, whether it's on my Instagram or on my social media, whatever it is, I always say mentors are key. So I've had multiple mentors. I've had people who are in this industry and are in game that I've gone coaching, or I've spent enough time around them to learn from them.
Okay guys, on the real though, are you guys joining us for a double date on the paddle boats? On the what? On the paddle boats. It's really dying down, so we can take advantage. We'd have the whole place to ourselves. Let's go, let's walk to King, let's walk to the subway. All right, yeah, let's walk. Adventure.
I've also had mentors in other aspects, such as people like Tony Robbins, right? And not just reading their books or watching their DVDs, but going to their events and learning from them in person. And so this has been years of kind of my own journey where I've done this so much. I've approached thousands and thousands of women at this point.
This is like an actual brag. Are you from Toronto or?
Yeah.
True.
Are you?
I gotta go this way. Okay. But would you be down to grab a drink sometime whenever I'm in Toronto?
Sure.
Okay, cool. I'll just like text you and we.
But also investing probably, man, by now it's like over 50 to maybe even 100K of just constantly investing into myself to travel and learn from other people. Man, I'm constantly reading books, I'm constantly getting into programs, I'm constantly getting mentored by different people. And so this has been an accumulation of 7 years. The student I had today, I was like literally telling him, like, if you had met me 6-7 years ago, I used to shake when I would talk to people.
I couldn't even talk to someone. I really couldn't.
And they don't believe it. They're like, I can't even see it. Because they don't understand that like your identity can change on such a deep level if you're willing to give your brain enough pressure and also give yourself enough pressure in terms of experiences, and also be willing to constantly invest in yourself, that you are gaining different experiences and perspectives and changing things up here that you wouldn't have otherwise on your own.
But you know what? Now it's the time to say no more of that. No more of that. I'm gonna make that leap, I'm gonna make that move.
How do I push a student to take action? Every student is different. So far I've had usually 4 ways that I get a student to take action. One is just telling them. Before I start every program, I let them know, like, whatever you feel, whatever you're thinking in the moment, put that aside and put your faith in the process and put your faith in me as your coach.
Holy shit, like this goes so hot, so hot. Those are the ones that make you the most excited. I want you to be able to go for those. All right. That's what you're aiming for.
And so usually it works when I tell a student to take action. However, some students need an extra edge.
And then the second thing is being more active versus passive. So when we were in that group setting and you were just standing on the side for like 30 minutes and you weren't doing anything, when I told you persist 20% more and follow that key word, which was freedom, then you started living in alignment with your integrity, you started feeling good, and then that made you continue taking action.
So I either, depending on the student, make enough pain so that the pain of not taking action is more. So just to give you an example, like one of my students, I told them like, oh, let me just see your credit card. I want to see what an American credit card is like. And once he gave it to me, I told him like, okay, if you don't approach this girl, I'm gonna buy every single person at the bar shots. And so now there's monetary, you know, pain behind them not taking action. And so obviously, what do you think happened? The student took action. Also, I think a lot of students up in their head, they play out the scenario of the worst case scenario and then they exaggerate it to such a point that it's not even possible. But see, that's the point I'm trying to make. It's like, sure, if he was jacked, it would be better, it would make it easier, but it's not necessary. So in those cases, I get them to just kind of, on a very deep subconscious level, experience what it would be like to take the action, and then the best case and worst case scenario, and I get them to really feel it on a deep level.
You're not willing to show that you're trying to dominate that social interaction, okay? Because the worst that happens is you'll come in and you try to dominate the social interaction, and maybe one of the girls or two of the girls like tries to challenge you, and if you're positive and you're giving them quote unquote value, which is really just positivity and enthusiasm, they're going to turn their energy into positivity. Does that make sense?
Okay. And once they do it and they experience it in their head, they're like, oh, I guess it's not that bad as I thought it would be, as I imagined it, and then they're able to go and take action.
Okay. Hey, sorry, I just seen you walking. I thought you were kind of cute. What's your name?
So usually those are the most 3 ways. I've had some students who've had such a hard time that I've literally just fucking picked them up and put them in front of the girl.
Build self-sufficiency. I want you to get to that point where you're just doing it by yourself. I don't have to tell you like, yo, go and like approach her. I want you to be like, okay, that's all up to my standards. That's what I want. I'm gonna go get it.
To the point where they feel so vulnerable that afterwards they're able to take action. And those are the main 4 ways that I get a student to take action.
Good on you for approaching. Now your interactions are moving better.
Right.
It's moving forward.
A debrief is just another word for kind of like an overview of what happened. So we view, depending on the student, some students have their boot camps filmed, some don't, based on what they want, how customized they want it to be. So if it's filmed, we actually sit down together, we go over the footage like, okay, here's where you did this, here's where you went wrong, here's where you went right.
And then also seeing the pain from what could be. Does that make sense?
That makes 100% sense. Like you're saying, like when you're saying when I'm just grabbing a number, it's like another way of saying I'm man enough to meet you, but not fuck you.
Yes.
And that's fucking.
It's like I'm man enough to meet you, because that girl, she was interested. She was like, holy fuck.
And she probably was a little bit desperate.
Yeah, and she's like, it's so hard to meet guys, da da da. And here you are, a guy who's actually has the balls to approach me.
And we kind of just go an overview of everything they do, and they kind of, in their head, they're like, shit, like now that they're able to view themselves, they see exactly what they're doing wrong, and there's so much pain attached to that.
This is my first time here. Do you know if there's anything?
You need to pause, man.
Yeah.
This is my first time here. Do you know if you...
Yeah, so yeah.
It's like, this is my first time here. Yeah? Okay, da-da-da. Do you know if there's anything cool to do around here? Like, you need to let those pauses be there, because if you don't pause, then she can't invest into you. Right. Like, where is there time for her to talk?
Mainly because I did this myself. When I first got filmed, I was just like, oh, this is so cringy. And then I never wanted to repeat those behaviors. So usually the debrief is just going over the footage. However, some students don't get it filmed. So those students, I'm obviously listening in on their interactions, and then afterwards we sit at a restaurant or wherever and we go over those interactions.
And feel that you are the party. Okay, like you are the fucking party. There's no one else, this is your world.
Here's where you went wrong. I asked them very detailed questions that gets them to start thinking outside of the box.
This is like boring ass conversations. What it's like what?
So how could you have made it different when you were talking to her? This was a good opener.
Right.
But how could you have made it different? Instead of
trying to make it more playful instead of trying to get like facts out of her.
Exactly.
Of what they should be doing, and we really just go over an overview of everything that they learned during the night and what really sticks to them, so that they're able to take that on their own and make sure that they're getting results. That's a good question. That's a very fair question. I think to say that every boot camp I get students late and all this stuff would be a straight up lie. I don't. Because everyone on their journey is in a different place.
And it's different for everyone. Like there's some girls that like for for my past students, I'm like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
I have no idea why he's There's students who have so much social anxiety that their palms are sweating and they can't even talk to me, right? So in that case, a win would be to get that person to be able to approach on his own multiple times.
I remember that the first approach was just the scariest one, you know. It was like...
he came onto program, not to interrupt you, but he's like, to be honest, I've never actually like approached. Yeah. I've never like talked to girls that much. And so like immediately, like before starting the program, I'm like, okay, go approach that girl over there. And he was just like shaking, he's like drinking water.
I remember we did the warm up. You made me talk for 1 minute to see if I was able to hold a 1 minute conversation.
Right, just the boot camp we finished up, we did that with a client where when he met me, he was literally shaking. He couldn't even talk to me. And just today, he was able, well, first of all, yesterday he went on an Insta date. You know, he screwed it up by leaving super early. But that's a win, in my opinion, because if this person is afraid of talking to people and now he's able to have a 10, 15, 20, 30-minute conversation with a girl, that's huge.
And then the first try, I wasn't able. Yeah. Then I tried again. I don't remember exactly if I did it, but then the third time I did it.
Yeah.
And then you told me, you see the girl over there on the couch? Go talk to her.
Yeah. Regardless of whether he got her number or not, I don't think that it would be fair for me to say, I can get everybody results and I can make sure that you get laid. I can't, honestly. I've had students on program get threesomes. I've had students on programs pull 2-3 girls in one day. But I've also had students on programs who have just been able to talk to a girl for 5 minutes. And that was a huge win for them. First point is you did a lot better today. You were opening by yourself. I didn't necessarily have to tell you. So it really just matters on the person and where they're at. I also think that because, you know, people who come on these programs, they get 1 year accountability with me. I don't like to do a boot camp and then just be like, all right, bro, that was it. You're on your own now. I've had people who've done that to me in terms of when I've been coached in many different areas. I think that's really fucking shitty. I think if you truly care about people, you want them to get results as soon as they invest into you, they believe in you. So when people invest into my programs, they get a boot camp, but they also get multiple follow-up Skype sessions. No one gives a fuck. But if your brain doesn't believe it, you're gonna still feel that. So that proof comes in from having fun with your friends, or they get access to all my products. They get a personalized action plan afterwards on exactly what they need to do in order to ensure results. They get a year worth of texting accountability with me, so they can text me whenever the fuck they want and, you know, have me actually tell them exactly what to do. They're on a date, like, bro, how do I fucking pull this girl? This is the situation. I tell them what to do. I haven't had one student who hasn't gotten results if they followed up with the accountability afterwards. I've had students now on the other end, being totally transparent, totally truthful. I've had students who've had amazing results on program. They've had a threesome, for example, on program. But after the program, they don't follow their personalized action plan. They don't follow up. They don't show up to their Skype sessions. They don't take, you know, advantage of the texting process. And then they have to take another boot camp, whether it's with someone else or with me. So you were trying to find an escape. But the thing was, if you had gone and approached another group, it would have led to the same thing. It would have been good in the beginning and then it would have died out. So that's why I asked you to continue going with that group and follow that 20% rule where you persist 20% more and you live in alignment with that word, which is freedom, and actually try to start a conversation again. Henry David Thoreau once said, "Most men lead lives of quiet desperation." And I truly believe that those who take risks in life, those who act with courage and integrity, deserve the best. And it's not just about getting laid. It's not just about having the end result. It's about becoming a different man, a better man. You know, far better is it to dare mighty things, to win glorious triumphs, even though checkered by failure, than to rank with those poor spirits who neither enjoy nor suffer much, because they live in a gray twilight that knows not victory nor defeat.